Get your coat.
Hello everyone, this is Brad, founder of Kimeric, and I'm here super excited to give you a behind-the-scenes look at my latest AI short film, Second Earth, and how I brought that project to life automatically with no manual prompting through Kimeric. The first thing you do when starting a project with Kimeric is you enter the script, not a prompt, the entire script. That is the key differentiator between Kimeric and most other products on the market, is that you don't have to deal with prompts manually. You can deal with writing really cool stories, and the tool will help to bring those stories to life. As your script is processed, it identifies all of the key characters, props, and locations that exist within your story and gets those ready to be generated. The first thing that happens inside of Kimeric is you generate what we call a neutral face. This is just who the character is, independent of their costume. So here you will see all of the key characters in the project if you've watched the film. If you haven't watched the film, go ahead and watch it. Once we identify all of their key faces, then we identify what do all of their bodies look like. So again, you're creating this idea of who the character is, again, independent of the story, so that you can then give them the attire or wardrobe they have as part of the story. So here, again, you can see the three main characters that exist within the story. Next, we do the same exercise, but we then put them into the wardrobe that they have in the project itself. So again, here you can see the three main characters. Now they're in the wardrobe that you've seen inside the project. And lastly, we do that same process, but now we're giving a full body portrait for what these characters look like. This gives us an objective source of truth that we can then use in a variety of places downstream to make sure that we are preserving and propagating character continuity at scale as we generate dozens and dozens of images and videos. Next, there are a series of key props, locations, and worlds that are generated as part of any given project. Again, here you have the planet in the sky, the shadow that exists beneath the fence post, and a handful of other assets that exist throughout the project. Next, we have all of the key locations, the observatory from the outside, a different perspective of it zoomed out, two different views of the actual interior of the control room, one that does not have the Earth in the background and one that does, and then lastly, an idea of the receiver room that exists in later parts of the film. And lastly, we have the world, which again is going to be similar to the location given the context of the story. Next, we have the cluster scenics. This is a custom category of visual data point that we have created as part of Kimeric. You can think of this as just establishing an objective point of reference for where any given character is within any scene throughout the project. This is not used necessarily as a production asset, but rather is used as an input to create production assets while maintaining all of the different spatial continuity that has to exist for the characters within a project. So again, you'll see as I fan through these quickly, you can pause if you want to look at these in more detail, but we're creating a lot of images and stills that you've likely seen inside the project itself. All of these generate automatically, meaning it creates the staging and all of the prompts. You can see over here in the right column, there's a ton of information. Again, all of this is created automatically on your behalf when your script is processed. As you're creating images, you can actually see multiple takes of the image that you generate. Here, several of these look similar because I was doing some QA and troubleshooting. But again, you'll see a variety of different angles that were generated for this single still. Some of them work and some of them don't because models are non-deterministic. But the goal of the tool is that it gives you an easy way to generate multiple takes, find one that you like, and then you can lock that take in for the purpose of your film. Once you create the cluster scenics, then we create what we call the holistic library of reference images that you need to then take those cluster scenics and bring those to life. Here we have 4 of them. You'll see terminology called either OTS for over the shoulder or rake for instances where characters are going to be more parallel to one another as opposed to cardinally opposed. Here we have 4 different of these images. You're going to see these as really the core 4 places where the characters exist within the scene. Here is towards the end of the film. Here we have the 2 main characters standing on a balcony. Here we have those same 2 main characters inside of the control room. And then lastly, we have them out on that same balcony, but this is when the Earth exists in the background. Next, we have over-the-shoulder B. You can think of this as the inverse of the image that we just went over in that over-the-shoulder A scene. So for example, right here is one of the over-the-shoulder A images. What we're trying to do is create an over-the-shoulder beam, so we have 180 degrees of spatial continuity for that scene, which allows us to have a very diverse inventory of images we can zoom in and zoom out on while maintaining continuity within the story. One of the awesome features about Kimeric is that for any image that you generate, you can simply click it to zoom in, click any other image to zoom in. You can very easily look at all of the different reference images that are automatically assembled as part of the image that's generated. zoom in on any of these. And you can do this for QA purposes. So if you generate an image of a character and you want to make sure, does this look and feel like the same version of the character that we've had so far? This is the easiest way for you to go through and QA these at scale as we're generating all of these images. Next, we create what we call the medium close-up and close-up images. So what we do there is we take those two pairs of over-the-shoulder images that we just generated in the last couple phases, and you effectively zoom in. What that's doing, again, we have this as one of the core over-the-shoulder images for one of the frames focused on this character here on the right. We've created two different variants of this. One is the medium close-up, and the next is the close-up. Again, all this is orchestrated on your behalf automatically. But what you have as you do this at scale, and I'll fan through these in the background as I'm talking through this, but what you have as you go through and create these at scale is a variety of images where the spatial continuity is already baked into the image. So then when you want to use these for the purpose of creating storyboards and videos, you can effectively grab any of these images off the shelf, place them in as the sole reference image for a video that's being generated, and know that the video you're getting as the output is largely going to have the continuity of that character baked into the generation. Once you've completed this, you've now completed what we call the assembly phase of a project. This is where you've created all of those core assets that are going to bring your project to life with continuity baked in. Next, we move on to the storyboard phase. This phase is really exciting. So what happens here? Again, the user interface is going to look very similar to the phase we were just in, but it does two different things. One, it takes all of the images that we just generated in the assembly phase and approved, and it will fan those out and automatically assign those to every single shot that has been pre-identified during the ingestion of your script. As you'll see, and I'll scroll through this briefly here, but there are almost 200 images here at the bottom across a variety of different shot types that cover the entirety of a project that landed to about a 12-minute runtime if you've seen the final project. Again, all of the images that we've already created at the time are automatically assigned. But there's a second class of image for things that were not created during the ingestion. For example, here's an image that is a zoom in of a woman placing a tablet down, right? This image was not created automatically, at least during that previous phase. But for any images like this where the AI shot director says, hey, we should probably have a zoom in on this specific instance, it will go through and create the image prompt. You'll see that over here on the right side of the screen. And then with a single button press, once we move into this phase, again, it will automatically assign the images we've already created and then dispatch, creating at scale, bulk, all of the images we need to fill in all of the gaps. And again, for any image you create, you can go through and look at all of the different takes that you have. This was the first take we had for this. This clearly was not correct. It didn't really fit the overall aesthetic. We regenerated it, and then on the second take, we got an image that was more than good enough for a take within the film. So again, you go through this process, you review all of the different images we create as part of the storyboard, and then once you've approved all of these, you can move on to actually generating the video. That brings you into the next phase, the footage phase. So what happens under the hood? There's a single button press after you've completed the storyboard that automatically compiles and dispatches everything that just happened in that previous phase out to the video providers that you have configured for your project, and it generates all of those videos. It can take quite some time depending on the size of your project, but what you're left with, and I'll go ahead and hit play so you can watch this in the background, what you're left with is a workspace where you can see in real time all of the videos that you've generated for the project. And not only that, but you can go through and you can review them. You can approve them, regenerate them, iterate on them with feedback. And what's really cool is this can automatically play in the background. I'll go ahead and toggle on autoplay. We'll move over to the next clip here. And again, what you'll see is that as this single video completes, it will automatically move on to the next video. What's really cool and novel about that specific experience is that unlike other tools where you have a place where you can generate your video, and then you have to bring that video out of that tool, download it, move it onto your computer, move it into your editing software of choice, and then begin the editing process. Here, those two spaces are very much merged. While this is not a video editing software, it gives you a real-time way to be able to watch your footage in a contiguous way as you're generating it, make tweaks in real time, so that you can get a sense of not only how does that clip look in isolation, but how does it look in the context of the project that you're trying to generate. I'm gonna go ahead and unapprove one of these shots just so you can see what the experience looks like when you're inside of a clip. If you have a clip that you've already approved, you can simply click the pillbox up here in the top left where it says approved. You can click unapprove and then that unapproves it. Again, you're going to see 3 main buttons. This is the primary action bar when you're in an actual working project. You can either approve it, which will go ahead and revert it back to that approved state. We'll go ahead and undo that so you can see it. You can hit regenerate, which I won't do because this will automatically queue up another iteration of generating this specific video, or you can click iterate. The main difference here, regenerate takes the exact same video prompt that is automatically pre-constructed for the purpose of the project as orchestrated during the script ingestion process. So it just kind of says, hey, let's try this again and see if we get a better result. Iterate, on the other hand, is a feedback-based one. So if you have specific feedback where you're like, actually, the character should be more animated, more emotional, the scene should change, the lighting should be different, there should be something visually different about the project compared to what's actually seen in the video, you can leave text-based feedback inside of here. What that's going to do is rather than just regenerating, it's going to take a look at the feedback that you have in the context of the video prompt that is already assembled. It will then modify the video prompt automatically based on your feedback and then dispatch a regeneration of that specific video to try and give you a better idea of what you're looking to have generated. Again, similar to the images, you can go through for any given take that you've generated, and you can watch multiple takes that you've already created to see if any of the takes better meet the needs of the project that you're generating.
What is it?
In some cases they will, in some cases they won't. But again, the beauty of this is that this is all one integrated workspace where you can very quickly work through all these different variants to find something that you like. One other really cool feature, in the event you have multiple takes that you do like, you can not only, obviously you can approve a take and then it's approved. If you hover over any additional take that you've made, you can press this star button right here, and this keeps it as an alternate take. And that does a few really cool things. Ultimately, what this is doing is saying, in addition to being able to create and export this specific video, I also want you to tee up this one. You might want to grab it as B-roll or an alternate take in your video editing software of choice. But this is just a great way of preserving multiple of the generations that you've created, again, for the purpose of whatever you may want to do downstream in editing. But once you've gone through and generated all of your videos, again, that's the state that this project is in currently. Depending on your project settings and your budget and what you're looking to do, you can either have the project be effectively complete at that point, or if, for example, you generate it at 720p or 1080p and you want to generate this video project in 4K with a single button press, it can automatically take all of the videos you've created. We'll go ahead and jump into the Upscales tab. And it will dispatch these in the same way that you dispatch all of your video generations in the previous phase. It will automatically send this out to Topaz, is our video editing, or rather the upscaling provider that we have baked into the tool. It will automatically dispatch these for upscaling. This will go through and run, and then it will bring all the upscale takes back into the workspace for a final review and approval before your project is effectively complete. So again, what you have at the very end, and again, all this was done automatically, is upscaled 4K footage, if you go ahead and do that, that has all the continuity baked in, going all the way back to the core character assets that you created during ingestion, through to storyboarding footage, and then again, ultimately here at upscaling. And that's essentially how the product works in a nutshell. I'll be releasing a ton of way more detailed walkthroughs of all the bells and whistles of how the tool works. But again, really the main goal that we have for this product is we want it to be the simplest product on the market for if you're somebody with great ideas, great scripts, great short stories, or great full-length feature films, and you want to bring these projects to life, but you're not familiar with prompting or model selection, or you may just not want to do that because you really enjoy the process of writing and coming up with the ideas way more than actually the technical part of generating. This tool does a lot of that generation for you. You essentially act as just the approver, and then you can watch your project come to life in real time. So again, I'll be coming out with a lot of way more detailed walkthroughs and tutorials in the coming days, so stay tuned for all of those. And if you're interested in trying out Kimeric for yourself to see if it's a fit for you and your workflow, there is a 14-day free trial that you can go ahead and check out for yourself. There's a link in the description of this video as well as in the pinned comment. Would love for you to check those out. Any feedback you have as you go through and use the product, please send that. We are actively working on making this product as compelling and great of a value add as it possibly can be for anyone who uses it. And thanks for watching.